Automatically start to shift.
Yeah, and I brought some props.
I love it.
I love props, okay? So I brought some props. Just give me a second.
It's clanging.
Okay, so will you hold this light?
I'd love to.
Okay, so let's say this light is the pure Christ consciousness, okay? And then what happens is that light gets filtered. You want to hold that?
Yes.
Gets filtered, and you can kind of show them, okay?
Sure, I don't.
Gets filtered by something we call collective consciousness or mass consciousness, right? So it gets dimmed a little, right? But the purity is always there. And then what happens? We have this individual consciousness that we cover over that, right? And so some of our light's getting through, but not quite all of it. So a part of our job is become more holy. Right? You become more holy. So more your light gets through here, and as we work on that and work on investing time in meditation, we make this holy too, so more of the beauty, your natural innate beauty comes through.
Let your light shine.
Let your light shine. Yeah. You know, when Jesus said take the bushel off, I think he was saying, you know, leash your ego. You know, get your ego out of the way, because that's the bushel you and I hold over ourselves, is our beliefs of not being able to do or being worthless or less than. And you know, who are we to disagree with Jesus when he said he was the light of the world and you're the light of the world? I mean, what better authority could we have?
That's it. And that we really work with this message here in this movement rather than the messenger. It's sort of how do you really live this and apply this and be willing to go through the uncomfortability of taking these stories off that we have identified with really strongly.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that the bottom line is I think somehow it feels like it's a lot of work. But I find that the main part of this is showing up for it.
Yeah, I always like to affirm, let me do my work with ease and grace. You know, I don't need to be going through struggles in order to get there.
Right, well, we talked about this last night, because I called Paul about the various questions, and I said, you know, I've always wanted to be the spiritual Oprah. And I said, oh, great, I'm going to get to do this. And he said, I've always wanted to be in a talk where somebody just asked me questions.
Right.
And I said, you know, so you're like, easy.
Make it easy.
It's just really it is amazing how our thoughts and our ideas start to manifest.
Yes.
You know, we're often the last one that's noticing that our life really is working out in an amazingly beautiful way.
Yes. And that works by first looking at what do you have in an outer way, but what gifts do you already have in consciousness? Because those are yours to share. And wouldn't it just be more fun to focus on those than what you think you don't have? You know, I mean, isn't it amazing a person with lack of consciousness exquisitely sees what's not there? I mean, that's amazing. When it's so easy to see what's already there. Your beauty's already there.
You know, because this idea of worry and of fret and of regret is really bringing in something that's either already happened and over or something that's in the future that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So you see that it really is that,
well,
what are we going to...
And that's such a good point, because this law of mind action, what you focus on increases in consciousness, or the way we usually say it, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, it works regardless of what thoughts you're holding. So if you're holding negative, crappy thoughts, guess what you're going to get more of? The law doesn't care. So that's why we're responsible on how we're going to use that law.
So whether you think it can work or whether it can't, the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Right,
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Well, just to sort of wrap up here, Paul, I love your humor and your insights and your healing. I really appreciate you telling that story, because I just know it's just such an impactful story for us all to recognize.
Well, I think it's important for people to know, sometimes when they look at a minister on the stage, they think our lives are perfect and all of that. They're not. The Secret Lives of Ministers, okay? I mean...
There's a book.
There's a book. It's like we go through stuff too. And for me, when I've heard somebody speak, it's been so important to know that person is not speaking simply from an intellectual understanding, but they're speaking from an experiential level. And really, these are truths to be proved. These are not truths to force down your throat. They're not laws and beliefs to say you must believe them. because I know you can prove them. And I know you can prove them because I've done it, and you've done it, and Duke's done it. And there's many stories right here in this congregation where they've used a principle to make their life better.
Well, and that is the best part for me of facilitating classes, because you hear people's story and everyone in the class then understands that I'm not in this by myself.
Yes.
And so the power of a group and a community like a class
Yes.
is just, will be the next step in your own
Yes.
awakening.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's on Wednesday nights. We'll start
Wednesday night.
February 16th. And so what people can hope to gain is
First, the intellectual understanding, because you have to start with understanding a principle, and then I'll be encouraging you ways to prove it in your own life, and I like to have fun doing it. So come and have some fun.
excellent. We're so glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Having
a ball.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you. Let's
Thank
give
you.
Paul a hand.
Thank you. Want to put the